Okay, this question says carbon-14 has a half-life of 5,700 years. So I would just write down that fact. So that tells us that any sample of carbon-14 will take 5,700 years until there's half as much carbon-14 or until the activity from the carbon-14 has halved. It tells us that we have a sample of carbon-14 that has an activity of 200 becquerels. And it asks us what will the activity be after 11,400 years. Well, I would always do little timelines kind of for this. And I would say that after one half-life, which if you remember is 5,700 years, that activity is going to halve. So it's going to be down to 100 becquerels. After another half-life, then that's another 5,700 years later. It doesn't drop down to 0, it halves each time, so it goes from 200 to 100 and then to 50 becquerels. And if you notice, when we add these two half-lives, so each of them is 5,700 years, two half-lives, when we add them together, it's equivalent to 11,400 years, which is what the question asked. So the answer is 50 becquerels. This technique is called carbon dating. It's used to tell how old certain things are. So in the air, there's a certain amount of carbon particles or carbon dioxide particles contain carbon-14 rather than the normal carbon-12. Okay, so when plants grow, a certain amount of the carbon dioxide they take in will be carbon-14 carbon dioxide, which means plants in their bodies contain a certain amount of carbon-14. We eat plants, which means our bodies contain a certain amount of carbon-14. And that was true in the past as well. So if we find a specimen of a caveman or Egyptian mummy, we know during their lives how much carbon-14 would have been present. If we measure how much there is now, we can work out how old they are by knowing that the half-life of carbon-14 is 5,700 years. It also works with paper as well. So if we find documents and things like that, we can date how old they are because paper is made from trees. Okay. I would always lay out the questions like this, even if it seems very, very easy. So try these questions below, and then I'll post a video at the bottom of them with the correct answers. Okay.